Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to FTD's webinar, Social Selling 101, where content and engagement are the name of the game. Today's webinar is being presented by Frances Virgilio, FTD's field business consultant covering Florida, and Sean Wheeler, FTD's business consultant covering Georgia. Sean is a successful self-made social media guru. Having been involved in several areas of social media for over a decade, his posts reach over 8 million people a month. Prior to coming to FTD, Frances worked for a web development agency that worked alongside Google to help small and medium-sized businesses with their digital strategies. Her experience extends to internet marketing and direct marketing principles, as well as the latest web development technology. During today's intermediate level webinar, Frances and Sean will share practical tips for optimizing your social media accounts to increase engagement with your customers and make money using social media. Once Frances and Sean are finished with their presentation, we will open the webinar up for questions. If you have a question, simply type it in that question box that's on the upper right side of your screen. If you have a specific question for Frances or Sean, please include their name with your question. Feel free to submit your questions during the presentation, and we'll hold them until the Q&A portion of the webinar. So, without further ado, I want to turn things over to Sean to begin the webinar. Sean?
Thank you, Janet. So everyone hears about social media. It's something that was around, hasn't been around since, most of us were growing up, and there's a million different kinds of social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, heck, Tumblr, Periscope, TikTok, Snapchat. I could keep going on. I'm sure most of us here have used social media for our personal uses, but the question always begs, how do you use social media for business? Sure, you can post pictures of what you're doing or store hours, but how do you really dive in to what makes a successful social media campaign? So that's what I'm going to do today, is really handle the big three, what I call them: Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, and really kind of get into the nitty gritty of what makes those three platforms successful and how you can kind of start using those things to help your business, to drive money in your door, customers, make them happy. The things that I've learned in the last decade that honestly I didn't have any training, so you don't have to go to school for these things. It's kind of a trial and error thing. So don't be afraid to take risks and try things. Just try something. So that being said, Facebook, content. What do you post? I mean, when you get on Facebook, I'm sure most of us get on there and look at family and friends. You may go to pages of businesses, celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, or, maybe a product you're going to buy. You want to look up your favorite brand. So when you go to those pages, what are you looking at? So, let's say you're going to go buy a blender. I'm just going to pick a random item out of the tools. I wouldn't even know where to start to buy a blender, but you'd probably want to go do the little research on the internet. Maybe check out the page for the blender you like. Maybe once, twice, see what all the fuss is about. But if you went to the page and it was boring, nothing interesting, you probably wouldn't go back, would you? I know I wouldn't. But maybe on the slim chance something on that page caught your eye. Hey, that's a cool story, or whatever it happens to be on the content. Maybe the one person, maybe 10 people, maybe they go back and check out that page again. That's kind of the spark that gathers the attention of people, so they come back to your page, whether it's personal or, of course, while we're here, for business. That's the point. Because the first step to creating good content for social media is having a meaningful social media presence. So how do you engage your customer, keep them coming back while also using your page as a marketing tool? And as you can see here, it's going to be a blend of curated content. You can't just promote your products over and over again, because sooner or later, people will start coming to your page. So you want to have a careful blend of different kinds of things. Have a poll. Hey, what kind of Valentine's arrangements do you like? Post pictures of your work. Of course, we know you're going to do that because you're florists. You're very much proud of your work, and you should be. But don't be afraid to share other things that you find interesting that other people will, because let's face it, flowers are an emotional purchase. So if you're not capitalizing on those emotions, you're probably missing the chance to really make consumers come back to your page over and over again, like what you're seeing on the screen now. Whether it's an inspirational quote, promoting a product, which we all know how to do that pretty well, maybe a heartwarming share from something you saw. What do you find interesting? Those are the kind of things that your people want to see as well. So share those things. Don't be afraid. Because, the reality is those kind of posts get people come back to your page. I mean, in the very middle there, you see a quote, something, sometimes what you're looking for comes when you're not looking at all. That's not anything groundbreaking. That post reached 50,000 people. And you're thinking, oh, that page probably had 10,000 likes or followers. No, that page had 328 followers when that post went on there. The reality is they had good content. They were engaging their people. They're asking questions, following up with comments. And that's the kind of thing that led to shares. And that's what you want to do. You want to create interest, engagement. Don't just post the same thing over and over again because people won't come to your page anymore. So that's kind of the content aspect of Facebook. So when you're looking at your page, how do I know what I'm posting is successful? What you see there is a bunch of numbers. What should I be concerned with? Well, of course, you want page likes to be important, but more importantly, as you can see on the left, all the different things, and on the right, one of my pages, how many people did my post reach? As you can see on the left, 11,000 in that month. On the right, 1.7 million in that month. So those are the kind of things. You want to reach more people because the more people you reach, the more chance you have of engaging consumers. And if you have good content, they're going to come back to your page. That's the name of the game, right? Connecting with people. The more you get involved, coming to your page, engaging with you, the better chance you have of getting a customer, buying from your website, coming to your store, calling your store, whatever it may be. Which leads back to the whole concept of selling on social media. If you don't have a store on your Facebook page, it's not hard to set up. Just, your top 10 items even. Things that people can buy on Facebook. Make it easy for them. The easier you make it for the consumer to buy from you, the more likely they are to do it. So have that on there for your people know what kind of work you do. Have examples of your favorite arrangements. The things that make you the most money. Put that on your Facebook. Allow them to buy it there. You never know what'll happen if you don't do it. So which leads us to the online game. We all know you're going to have bad customers that just don't like you for whatever reason, they're having a bad day. But between Google and Facebook, those are the two reviews that you need to worry about. And that's the kind of thing that kind of tailors your online experience. So make sure that no matter what you're doing, that you're paying attention to the reviews, because you can post the greatest content in the world. You can engage with your customers, but if you ignore reviews, people will think you don't care about their business, especially if they're bad reviews. Put something, doesn't matter what you're putting, put something on there to let people know, hey, I'm actually trying to pay attention to what it is that people are doing. That being said, that leads us to Instagram, the newest thing. So everybody knows Instagram is the latest, greatest in social media. Question is, how do you use it? It's more of a shopping platform than Facebook because the demographics are a little bit younger. So people there going, looking for something to buy, as you can see there. But over half people on Instagram are looking to buy something. But how they look for things to look at, to shop for, is a completely different animal. And that's where we come to the hashtag. The hashtag is the search term for Instagram. Just how we all know that when you go on Google and you look for something, that's how people look for things on Instagram. So you've got to use hashtags that are relevant, memorable. You want to brand yourself using a hashtag, but you want to use hashtags on your Instagram posts that people will find you by. So you don't want to have 20,000, hashtags. You can do maximum of 30. But Instagram has shown that the most popular posts use an average of 9 hashtags to get the most attention and the most traffic. So find the ones that mean the most, that get exposure, but not billions of people, because if you compete with 1 billion people for a hashtag, you're probably not going to get a lot of traffic. So find a careful blend of the ones that work. And you can see in the insights on Instagram who's coming from what area. If they're coming from hashtag, if they're coming from profile, you'll see those things. So how do you choose a hashtag? Well, if I told you that some of the most popular hashtags are emojis, I mean, I wouldn't have believed it. I mean, even the funny thing is, you can even use misspelled words. I know it's crazy. I wouldn't thought quote misspelled would actually be a hashtag, but it is. And they're pretty popular. But here's some of the crazy things. Remember, the demographic here is younger. So they're going to search for terms with smiley faces and hearts and, believe it or not, flower emojis. There's a bunch of them. I mean, who would have thought that? So, you know, Instagram is not hard to set up. This is a page I actually started a couple weeks ago. Got 2,800 followers. You know, those are the kind of things that good content, good hashtags, a careful blend of your Instagram mix. And don't forget about stories, because and Facebook has it as well. So you've got to have the stories, because when Snapchat brought to our attention the new thing, which is the stories. You know, and you only have about 7 seconds to grab somebody's attention. So you better make those 7 seconds count. So you've got to have original interactive content. It could be behind the scenes of a flower shop. It could be, you know, making of an arrangement, whatever you think people will find interesting. Not what you find interesting always, but what is the general population? Mix it up. Don't do the same thing over and over again. People will stop coming and checking it out. But you can see a third of the most popular stories are from businesses. So why not capitalize on that? Not only do you post on Instagram, but post stories. Give yourself a face. Create a personality for your business. If you're not doing that, then people don't know who you are. It makes you no different than the Walmarts and the Publix out there. You've got to have a personality. Stories are the easiest way to do that, because it's a live video. It can be 7 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever appeals to you. But make those things count, because that's how you build your business, so people can put your face with a company. And just like on Facebook, you can actually shop on Instagram. You can create shoppable pins, as they're called, shoppable, so that when you're actually going to a product, a little tag will pop up, and so that you can tag it, so people can actually purchase an item straight from your Instagram, take them right to your website. I mean, again, why not make it easy for them? If they're going to be on there anyways looking at your products, give them a chance to buy it. If 1 in 100 does, that's one customer you didn't have before that, right? That's the way I see it. So don't be afraid to put things on there that are your products. Don't put just your products, because that's, honestly, people don't want to see just products, just promotions. So mix it up, like I was saying. Have a careful content blend of the things that are interesting, but mix your products in there. Tag them so people can buy them. That's how you get sales. That's how you engage customers. And that having been said, let's move on to the last thing, which is Pinterest. I mean, we all know Pinterest is very visual, which as florists, visual is right up your alley. I mean, that's how you create beautiful work. And Pinterest is an easy way. Everyone's been down the Pinterest boards. It started off, the whole idea is pinning on a cork board. Well, Pinterest is an easy way to put your own work on the internet so people can see it. Hey, go to my Pinterest page, see what I've created. I mean, I'm sure we've all had the bridezillas come in with a Pinterest list of bridal flowers they wanted to do for $20, and that's just the nature of the beast. But here's a Pinterest page I created. You know, I wouldn't have thought that Pinterest would have gathered 40, 50, 60,000 views in a month from simple pins, but it's happening. So, and again, just like the other two mediums, Pinterest is shoppable. You can create pins that when someone clicks on it, takes them right to your website. Why not give people an easy chance to buy from you? I mean, and that one site you see there, her web orders went from, I think, 2 a month to almost 30 a month in a matter of a few months, because of having an active social media presence with a great Pinterest board. People went to it, saw it, a few more started clicking on the things, and there you go, more purchases. So here's your numbers of Pinterest. I mean, people are looking for things, looking for visual. As florists, that is exactly what you need. People are looking for visual things that excite them. Flowers are that emotional purchase. Use that to drive business to your website. I mean, if you have good content, it can be just, and Pinterest is not like Facebook and Instagram. You don't have to have all the interesting, unique things. It's more about your products, your work. Put your beautiful work on there. Make it purchasing so that people can buy it from your Pinterest page, from your website. Have that on there. But you can see 50% of people make a purchase after seeing a promoted pin. That should tell you people are there to buy. So why are you not capitalizing on that? The bottom line, I mean, if you create an awareness of who you are as a company by creating good content, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or just one of them that people go to regularly, see your content, engage with you, when they are ready to buy something, maybe it's not today or tomorrow, but next week, you're going to be on the top of their minds. So when they are ready to buy, they remember you and they come to buy from your website, from your Facebook, wherever it is you are that's convenient for them. Make sure that you're making the most of the opportunity, because that's what's going to make them buy from you instead of somebody else they don't even know. It's about having good content, having engaged with them on social media. That's where the consumers will buy from you instead of someone else. So, and that's the reality of the world we live in. There's a million options, so why not capitalize on the content you can create, engage your audience, and once you build that relationship with them, they'll remember you. Therefore, when they're ready to buy, they're going to buy from you. I think that's it for me.
All right, we'll turn things over to Frances to continue. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Now, where are you on the World Wide Web? A big WW. How fast can consumers find you? It all ties in, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Pinterest, whether it's Snapshot, and your Google listing. It all ties in together. Why? Because from one place to another, if they go to Facebook, then they go to Google, and your address is not correct, they are not finding you. Did you know that there's more than 70 search engines out there on the World Wide Web? There's Yahoo, there's Bing, there's Google. And sometimes we can't find you. And why? Because these listings are incorrect. Some like white pages, or even Siri, or even GPS. What about not being able to find you? I'm on the road and I'm trying to find your address, and your address is incorrect in one of these places. Well, with eBiz, which is a product that FTD has, we tie all this in together to help you to make sure that you are listed correctly in the search engines. As you can see on the screen, we have a scan that you can go to, and it's found at www.ftdi.com. This scan actually allows you to find how accurately you are listed on all the search engines. So I did a scan on a shop that is 45 years old, and I found about 75% inaccuracies. Well, he was listed correctly, but in some places he wasn't found, and in some other places he didn't have reviews. What a shame that someone goes to your Yelp page, they find the wrong phone number, and they find the wrong address. They try to get to you, and guess what? Now they think you're not a real shop. This scan is free and can be found on www.ftdi.com. FTD's product, called eBiz, has two levels. One is the lower level, which is $49, and then there's a platinum level, which is $89. And it includes your Google business, where you can capture the Google business and allows you to receive alerts of when you have a review that you need to attend to. So this is a great tool that FTD offers you that you may want to consider. How about emails? Well, emails right now, people say, oh, I don't like emails. But did you know that keep sending an email out is actually putting your name in front of that customer? Because at the end of the day, they may have a birthday or an anniversary that they forgot about. You sent them an email with a type of discount. They're going to remember that they have an email, a coupon that you have sent them. 80% of people that have email accounts actually have duplicate accounts. So always remember that if you're going to have emails, you need to send those emails out to your customers. FTD has a program, whether you have a Mercury point of sale or whether you have just maybe a Excel spreadsheet of emails, we can actually capture those emails and send them out quickly to your customers. Valentine's is right around the corner. Why not take the opportunity to get those 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 emails out to your customers to make sure that they know where your website is. Your website has your Facebook link on there. It may have your Pinterest link on there, and it may have your website. So sending out an email is important. Make sure that when you are marketing that you're also doing things like strategies and make sure that you're using traditional things that bring that consumer in. Make sure that you have information, that the campaigns we make sure that when we set up your email campaign and we design them for you for that $49, that we're designing them with things that actually pertain to you. Containers that you have in your store, designs that you've created on your own, prices. We send them out 2 times a week, those emails. We can send them out 3 times for anniversaries and birthdays. So the email campaign is a wonderful tool that FTD offers, and it is very inexpensive. How about developing your email on a weekly or bi-weekly, but also mentioning that if they come back, they get a $10 delivery fee coupon so that you're not charging the delivery. Make sure that when you're developing the content, the promotion is customized exclusively to your shop. We have great inside sources that'll help you set those emails, and it'll be easy for you to, again, to attain those customers back to your website, creating a great advertisement to the window that's open 24 hours. Now, have you ever heard of Facebook jail? And how do you avoid it? Yes, there is such a thing. And Facebook does have algorithms. You have to use Facebook like it was designed to be used like. If your mom and family are the only ones commenting on your great post, we have an issue. So have you noticed lately that you're not seeing as many people as you were seeing before? That's because you're not commenting. So make sure that when you're posting, you're also liking, posting, asking questions, and creating conversation. It's all about content. It's not just going on Facebook and posting. It's about going to Facebook, keeping the consumer on you, and saying, hi, happy anniversary, or hey, hello, notice that you haven't been around lately. Like that dress you're wearing. Also, make sure that you make sure that your friends see your post by making sure you're posting on them. So being successful on Facebook is putting on original content and images. Putting an image of a dog in the back of the flower shop is key. Why? Doggies are liked everywhere. Show that your designer is actually at work. They want to see that. Show a picture of your flower shop and the business next door that's opening. Make an announcement that a new grocery store is opening right across the street, or make a bridge is opening. Those types of announcements bring engagement, and your shop is going to have more likes. Here are the tips to increasing your Facebook algorithm. Post it at least twice a day. Best times to post are between 7 a.m. and in the evening. Make sure your promotional posting is juicy. It's not just like, here's the arrangement of the day. That's not going to cut it, guys. Maybe you purchased these wonderful tulips from Holland, and you want to write the story about the tulips. That is important. That is good content. Spend time mingling and interfacing with other Facebookers, okay? It's not just about posting. Don't post links that take followers away from your page. Facebook does not like this. So if you're posting a link about a news organization or a news article and it's taking them away from Facebook, Facebook penalizes you for this. Make sure your professional profile is complete. What I mean is make sure that your name, the name of the business, the phone number, how long have you been around, your address, your web link is complete. Post quality content that gets engagement. Try a Facebook watch party. That means maybe you have a designer that can do an arrangement in 10 minutes or less, or 5 minutes or less, or maybe you have a designer that is just amazing with wedding bouquets. Record them and post it. It's different. You're going to get the likes, you're going to get the comments, and you're going to get followers. Create the videos and post them. That's going to get you more likes and more followers. More ways to beat the Facebook algorithm. So have you ever heard of engagement bait? Share this, share my shop, share this post. Do not use the word share on your comments. Have conversations. If you host a live video on Facebook, have conversations. Say, how is your child doing? What is happening as you're designing? I want to show you how to make this beautiful design. Hey, Helen, thanks for showing up on my live video today. How are things going for you? Thanks for ordering that beautiful anniversary design last week. So definitely, if you're doing a live, make sure that you're having a conversation with your audience. Unfollow other florists. Yes, this is so sad. I love seeing my florists. But if you have florists on your Facebook page, on your professional Facebook page, all you're going to see on your Facebook is those florists. And if you like or comment on them, then your friends are actually going to see that like or that comment. So you want to have them focus only on you. Unfriend other florists. Remove any unanswered friend requests. If you've asked someone to be your friend or like this page and they have not responded, please remove that. Words that you should avoid at all times at Facebook: share, like, enter to win, giveaways, tag, sold, and number. Don't use those words. Those are no-no words for Facebook. Create content that is share-worthy and be an expert. That means, give a follow-up on how to care for flowers, when you send yellow flowers, when should you send pink flowers, when should you send red flowers. So make sure your content is good. Now, Instagram is a little different, and I absolutely love it. Why? Because this is a perfect way to advertise your business. So how about on Instagram posting a name game? If your name is Maria, come pick up your 3 roses today and take a picture with us on Instagram. So basically, Maria is going to come to the store, pick up her 3 roses, take a picture of herself, put it on Instagram. Voila, now her friends are seeing your Instagram. And seeing your store and your hashtag. So create games to play on Instagram to get people to walk in through your door. Come and take a picture with this beautiful arrangement at our shop today. Post it on Instagram, receive free delivery. Again, you're getting people to walk through the door. Take a picture of your beautiful arrangement. They're posting it on their Instagram. You're going to post it as well. And their friends are going to share with their friends, and they're going to come in and take pictures of themselves because they want the $10 off the delivery. Make announcements of national days. National Pancake Day, and put a rose on it. Take a picture of the pancakes with the flower. It's Hot Dog Day. Put hot dog out there and put a beautiful bouquet in front of it. So make national announcement days, because that is what people look for on Instagram, and of course that wonderful hashtag. Dog post. Everybody loves that doggy. So make sure you're posting, if you have a little doggy, in the flowers, on Instagram, and everywhere. The dog's news, the dog on the window, the dog looking for customers. Make a story and create it and post it. Post what's popular. So right now, makeup and of course colors are very, very popular. Why not get a lipstick to match a specific set of roses or flowers? Post it on Instagram. Watch how many likes and posts and shares you're going to get. Stories and highlights are important. On Instagram, it's not just about posting, but creating a story. So if you have a story to talk about the flowers and how they didn't open this morning, you take a picture of the flowers, how closed they were, you put them in warm water, by midday they're half open, take another picture, and you name the flowers. Lily decided to open a little bit by 12 noon. Again, create the story cute. By 4 o'clock, you post another picture of that lily open, and welcome to the world, Lily. Today she has opened for business. So that is a story. It's cute, and it's going to work on Instagram. And of course, post 3 to 6 times a day on Instagram. It's important. You're probably saying, Frances, I don't have this much time to post. So how do you do it? Well, there are softwares out there that will allow you to post on Instagram for the next 30 days. And when you post on Instagram, it'll automatically post on Facebook. If you need more information on this, you could always reach out to us. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks so much, Frances and Sean, both for sharing a lot of great information about social selling. We are open for questions. So remember, as I mentioned earlier, if you have a question, type it in that question box on the upper right side of your screen. And if you have a specific question for Frances or Sean, include their name with your question. We do have a question for Sean from Sarah. She said, how do I decide what to post?
I mean, the thing about social media, there are no rules. I mean, it's a free medium, so you need to find the things that are interesting. And I typically go with things that appeal to emotions when it comes to flowers, of course, because buying flowers is an emotional decision. So heartwarming stories, stories of kindness. Of course, like Frances said, animals do great, whether it's dogs, cats, a goat. It doesn't matter. People love those things. But people love stories of kindness, giving, compassion. It can be great quotes. There's no rules. It's kind of a trial and error. You got to kind of see what your Facebook audience likes, and that's the key. Is that, and you got to use your own personal judgment too. But just remember, just because you like it doesn't mean everyone else is going to like it. But try to think outside of what you like and appeal to a larger audience, and try to appeal to their emotions and find the things that, on a general level, people find emotional, because that's how they buy flowers, is emotion. So remember that when you're looking for material or things to post, go to your newsfeed. That's where I find most of my stuff, is on newsfeed. I don't go and create or search for it. It's generally on my newsfeed on one of my different social media platforms. Go there, find it. Hey, that's a great thing, and schedule it and post it. And from there, see how it performs. If people like it, then hey, that's what they like. And just kind of pay attention. Use those numbers I talked about to see what posts get the most attention, and kind of tailor your feed and your post to what your audience likes.
All right. Thanks, Sean. I've got a question for Frances. Jackie asked if she signed up for you had mentioned the eBiz program earlier, how quickly can her listings get corrected?
Definitely. If you sign up for eBiz, we take the information, the application, and we send it in. And usually within 7 to 10 business days, your listings are corrected. And we make sure by going through that application that we have accurate information, websites, make sure the hours of operations are correct, and making sure that phone numbers and emails are also correct.
Great, thanks, Frances. I have a question. This one's open for either of you. Amy said they are a military shop. How do you gauge toward military and off base?
I'm going to take that one.
Go ahead.
I think creating a different topic, and picking up on the emotions of the military and things that are fun, also asking questions, trivia questions, things that are going to bring out different emotions on the military. What is, for example, today we're in the month of April. The flower for April is such and such. Where did this flower originate from? Can you answer this? So asking trivia questions and going around what the flower shop does best, designing flowers, or even creating games with them. How many people are anybody that's named Marsha? Please send us your picture today and come in, pick up your free small bouquet. So different things like that, I think, are going to, it doesn't have to be just about the military. It could be anything. Bring them into your shop or bring them onto your website.
Thanks. Sean, did you want to add?
Yeah, let me add something. So I've had numbers of posts, of course, with Memorial Day, Veterans Day, there's been a lot of opportunities. I had a post one time about a wounded veteran used his military service dog as his best man. There's lots of material out there to use. You may have to search it, Google it, find it on an inspirational page. There's a lot of information there, and there's links. There's lots of quotes, but playing off the patriotic service, because I come from a military family, so that's very important to me. So finding those things that appeal to your niche and see how they perform. So it's a trial and error basis, because I have some pages that I run that certain things do great, but then on the different page it might do terrible. So you got to kind of find some material, post it, and see how it performs. If it doesn't do well, then hey, they didn't like that. But finding patriotic material, whether it's service dogs, or whether it's a dad coming home and sees his kids for the first time in 3 years. Those kind of things are heartwarming stories that people love. So you can't ever go wrong with stories of emotion that are like that. And being on a base, those are kind of things that hit home for a lot of people. So I would think those kind of stories, whether it's sharing links, posting pictures, whatever, would appeal to their demographic, I would think.
Great. Thanks, Sean. We've got another question for Frances. Glenn was asking, how long does it take to set up that email campaign that you mentioned once you receive their paperwork?
It's usually about 3 days from the time that the application is actually received and entered into the system. You get a call from our great inside source that will ask you some questions and set it all up for you.
Great, thanks. As a reminder, if you've got any questions, type it in that question box on the right side of your screen. I've got a question, Sean. Greg was asking, when it gets down to it, how does posting make him money?
Well, posting is going to create engagement. Of course, you've got to engage the customer when they post and comment. So the reality is, once people come to you, it's not one of those things that's a direct tie from, I posted, I got 20 people to like it, 3 of them bought. It's building an awareness of your shop. It's more of a passive, over time, gradual thing so that when people are ready to buy, they think of you. So you can't directly tie. You're going to get purchases because people know your store because they've been to your pages, they've seen your content. So, and if your stuff's there on the page to buy, so you can't necessarily think that it's going to be it's not going to email. You can't say 3 people opened, 1 bought. It's just a matter of getting more traffic to your page so that when consumers are ready to buy, or they tell somebody, hey, I saw this page on Facebook, they have great content, that your name comes up. And you can never quantify that because they may never tell somebody, oh, I saw you on Facebook. A friend of mine told me about you on Facebook because of some great posts you had. It's just a matter of trying to reach as many people as you can, because that one shop that had 300 likes but got 50,000 views on a post, their likes, tripled, and they've gotten more web business. I've seen it. So those are the kind of things that you've got to pay attention. It's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it stands to reason. The more people you reach, the more chance you have of getting orders. And if you're accessible on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and have a way to sell there, when people are ready to buy, because everybody wants to buy flowers all the time, but when they are ready to buy, you're relevant, top of their minds, they'll think of you first and give you the first chance if you're an easy purchase to make.
Fantastic, thanks. We've got another question from Amy. She said, what are the best ways to gain more followers, especially on Facebook?
I mean, I think it's content. Content's king. The better content you have, you can always work with an influencer. I've done a lot of work with flower shops on that, but you've got to have the ability to get people to share your content, and that's having great stuff. The better your content, that one post, is a quote. So people like great content. If you create great content, take the time to see what works, people will share that. The more sharing you do, or working with an influencer, or whatever your avenue is, but the content is what matters on social media. If you post the same thing over and over again, people aren't going to share. They're not going to like it. They're not going to come to your page. You're going to have no activity. I've seen pages with thousands of likes, followers that get 3 likes per post. Is because the content they have is not engaging. And so you've got to find things that appeal. And it takes a little bit of time at first until you kind of get in the rhythm and look through your newsfeed and see what people like. But once you do those things, you start realizing, hey, and I can give anybody on the phone or the webinar an ideas on where to go look for things. So there's plenty of material out there. You just got to know where to look. But just trying things out. And once you think, hey, this is being shared, then start finding your niche and seeing what works for you. And that's kind of going to be your trial and error process. It took me a decade to realize that, but I've done it. And it just takes time to realize what works best for you and your shop and where you're at in your demographics.
Great, thanks, Sean. Lisa has a question. She says she has no followers on Instagram. How does she get started?
There's various ways. You can do it. You work with an influencer is my first easiest way to do. If you want to build up a base, working with an influencer is a great way to do that, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. There's a lot of very economical influencers. There's websites you can go to find an influencer that works in your industry. That's an easy way of doing it. Posting and just finding the right hashtags. That's the key, because I've put 30 hashtags on a post and gotten no likes. I've put in 7 to 9 and gotten hundreds. So it's just a matter, again, comes down to it. There's no rocket science or methodology to exactly knowing what works. You're going to have to see what works for you and then just trying some things out. And don't be afraid to fail. I mean, I've had posts that got no traction whatsoever. I'm like, you know what, that didn't work. Let's scrap that. Let me try something new. But you've got to try things to fail to find what works. That's the best way to go about it.
Great, thanks.
You could also do a search. I'm sorry. You could also do a search on the color yellow, for instance, and what are the best hashtags. And remember that Google is your friend, and you can actually Google top hashtags for the color yellow, and it's going to actually give you what are the best hashtags for the color yellow. So those searches are very helpful if you are having a hard time coming up with a hashtag that you think will help your shop.
Actually, when you type in a hashtag on Instagram, the number of times that hashtag has been used will pop up in the number. So you'll see the number yellow has been used 34,000 times. So everything, again, it could be emojis, it could be flowers, it could be whatever you think. You don't want to go all with hashtags that have tons of visibility, because you'll be competing for a very large market. But if you use a combination of popular and more niche hashtags, then you'll finally get a blend of people that are actually able to see your content. But you can, when you type in a hashtag and what you want to use, you'll see how many times that hashtag was used on Instagram.
Great, thanks guys, we appreciate it. It looks like we are out of questions for today. If anybody has any questions following up, Sean and Frances, both of their contact information is on that screen, so you can write that down and reach out to them. They'll be happy to help you and answer other questions. We just want to thank everybody for attending today's webinar. If you missed a portion of the webinar, you want to view it again or with your staff, replay will be available on the FTD Mercury Network Florist YouTube channel later this week. We will be sending everyone a very brief survey to gather your feedback on the webinar. We'd really appreciate it if you just take a couple of minutes, complete the survey, and help us improve future webinars and other education programs for you guys. Just want to thank Frances and Sean again for sharing a lot of practical tips for optimizing our social media accounts. This concludes today's webinar, Social Selling 101. Thank you, everyone.